Ever met someone who just knew? Not in a creepy way, but like they'd cracked a code everyone else ignores? That's the INFJ weird energy everyone whispers about. These rare souls, less than 1% of us, radiate contradictions. Warm yet distant, deeply empathetic yet fiercely private, old soul wise yet endlessly curious. They're human paradoxes, listening like therapists but analyzing like detectives, leaving you wondering, how do you see what I've hidden for years? Their vibe? A campfire in a snowstorm, drawing you in with warmth but keeping you at arm's length with quiet intensity. And when they've had enough, the infamous door slam leaves relationships colder than a ghosted text. Love him or fear him, INFJs don't just notice you. They see you. Raw, real, unfiltered, ready to unravel the mystery. The vibe everyone's buzzing about. When people talk about the INFJ vibe, they're describing an energy that's hard to pin down. It's not just their calm demeanor or thoughtful silence. INFJs have a presence that feels both inviting and guarded, like a book you can't put down but can't fully understand. This vibe comes from their dominant cognitive function, introverted intuition, and which drives them to focus on the future, patterns, and hidden meanings. While others might chat about surface-level topics, INFJs are mentally connecting dots, analyzing your tone of voice, body language, and the unspoken emotions behind your words. They're not psychic, but their intuition is so sharp it can feel supernatural. This constant analysis gives them a quiet intensity that's magnetic but also unsettling. The INFJ empathy overload. INFJs don't just understand emotions, they absorb them. Imagine walking into a room where two people just had a fight. Even if everyone's pretending to be fine, the INFJ will sense the tension in their chest, like a heavy cloud hanging over the room. This hyperempathy comes from their secondary function, extrovert feeling, which makes them highly attuned to others' moods. They're like emotional sponges, soaking up joy, anger, or sadness without trying. While this makes them incredible listeners and friends, it's also exhausting. INFJs often struggle to separate their own feelings from others, leading to emotional burnout. Their energy feels weird because they mirror emotions so accurately that it's almost like they're inside your head. And that can be both comforting and creepy. The old soul aura. Have you ever met someone young who speaks with the wisdom of a 90-year-old philosopher? That's the INFJ old soul aura. These individuals often feel out of place in their own generation, drawn instead to deep conversations about life, death, and human nature. Their introverted intuition pushes them to seek meaning in everything, from a sunset to a stranger's offhand comment. They're not just thinking about what's happening now, they're wondering how it fits into the bigger picture. This makes them excellent advice givers, but it also isolates them. While their peers might gossip or joke around, INFJs are pondering existential questions, which can make them seem serious or detached. Their energy feels ancient, as if they've lived many lives before this one. The quiet intensity that freaks people out. INFJs aren't the type to dominate a conversation, but their silence speaks volumes. In social settings, they're often observing, studying facial expressions, listening to tone shifts, and noticing details others miss. For example, they'll remember how you fiddled with your ring when lying or how your voice cracked when discussing your fears. When they finally speak, it's usually to ask a question that cuts straight to the heart of the matter, like, why do you think you're afraid of being loved? This quiet intensity can unnerve people because it feels like being x-rayed. INFJs don't do this to intimidate. They genuinely want to understand others. But their laser-focused attention can make others feel exposed, as if their secrets are being gently pulled into the light. The door slam heard round the world. The INFJ door slam is legendary and terrifying. Unlike typical ghosting, where someone slowly fades away, an INFJ door slam is sudden and final. One day, they're your closest confidant. The next, they've vanished from your life. This happens when an INFJ feels deeply betrayed, manipulated, or drained. Their introverted intuition allows them to foresee patterns of hurt, and their extrovert feeling can't tolerate ongoing toxicity. To protect their fragile emotional energy, they cut ties completely. The shift is jarring. Their warm, open energy turns cold and distant overnight. People left behind often feel blindsided, wondering what they did wrong. But for the INFJ, the door slam isn't about punishment, it's survival. Why INFJs hate small talk? And it shows. Ask an INFJ about the weather, and they'll answer politely, but inside they're screaming. Small talk feels like chewing cardboard to them, bland, pointless, and exhausting. Their brains are wired for depth, not surface chatter. They'd rather discuss your childhood dreams, your fears of failure, or why you think the universe exists. At parties, you'll find them hiding in corners or talking to one person about life's biggest mysteries. Their eyes light up when conversations turn meaningful, but glaze over during gossip about celebrity divorces. This aversion to triviality isn't snobbery. It's a craving for authentic connection. To an INFJ, skipping small talk isn't rude, it's efficient. The chameleon effect, adapting versus losing themselves. INFJs are masters of adaptation. At work, they're the responsible team player. With friends, they're the therapist. With family, they're the peacekeeper. This chameleon-like ability helps them navigate social situations smoothly, but it comes at a cost. Constantly shifting personalities to suit others' expectations can make them lose touch with their true selves. They might wake up one day and think, "Who am I when no one needs me?" This identity crisis fuels their weird energy. They seem approachable yet unknowable, friendly yet guarded. People sense they're holding back, but they can't figure out why. The truth? INFJs often don't know how to stop performing and just be. The dark side, INFJ burnout and cynicism. INFJs are idealists, but the world's harsh realities can break their spirits. When faced with constant negativity, cruelty, or hypocrisy, their hopeful energy can sour into cynicism. Imagine a healer who's tired of healing. They withdraw, grow sarcastic, or adopt a "why bother" attitude. This burnout phase is jarring because their usual warmth feels icy. They might snap at loved ones, isolate themselves for weeks, or obsess over worst-case scenarios. Friends describe it as watching a candle flicker out. Recovery isn't easy. INFJs need solitude to recharge and strict boundaries to protect their energy. But once they bounce back, their idealism returns, tougher and wiser than before. The magnetic pole. Why people obsess over INFJs. Despite their complexity, or because of it, INFJs attract people like magnets. Their energy promises something rare, true understanding. They listen without judgment, offer advice that feels tailor-made, and see potential in others that even they don't recognize. For example, they'll tell a struggling artist, "You're not lazy. You're afraid your work won't match your vision." This ability to reflect people's hidden truths creates an addictive bond. But it's a double-edged sword. The closer you get to an INFJ, the more their intuition can feel intrusive. They might sense your insecurities before you admit them, leaving you feeling exposed. Yet, you'll keep coming back because being seen by an INFJ is like being seen for the first time. How to spot an INFJ in the wild. INFJs aren't hiding. They're just easy to miss. Look for the quiet person at the coffee shop writing in a journal, the coworker who remembers your allergies and your cat's birthday, or the friend who sends you a poem that perfectly captures your mood. They're the ones who ask, "Are you okay?" when you're pretending to be fine. Their energy isn't flashy. It's a steady, comforting hum. They'll listen more than they speak, offer help without being asked, and disappear when they need to recharge. If you meet someone who feels like a mirror for your soul, you've probably found an INFJ. Conclusion. So, is INFJ energy weird? Absolutely, but in the best way. Their mix of empathy, intuition, and quiet depth creates a vibe that's impossible to ignore. They're the friends who remember your dreams, the strangers who see your potential, and the partners who challenge you to grow. Yes, their intensity can be overwhelming, and their door slams can leave scars. But in a world full of small talk and surface-level connections, INFJs remind us what it means to be truly understood. Next time you meet someone with that INFJ energy, don't run, lean in. You might just find a connection that changes everything.